Dumb,
and weird.
podcast. All right, folks. Welcome to the Dumb, Cool, Weird podcast with Wes and Nick. Just for you guys to know, we are not going to be doing video podcasts anymore just because I'm pretty busy and Nick's pretty busy and we have things going on and it's kind of hard for us to make time to do video because video takes a lot more effort, you know?
What we really want to drive home is that the more you pay us, the more we'll have time to actually edit videos. So until we build our fan base a little more, we're going to stick to the audio where it's easier and we can get some of our dirtier guests, our freakier guests on the show.
And keep in mind, we'll still be on YouTube, but it'll be audio only. So if you have like the YouTube app and you're paying for premium, you can pretty much close the app and still listen to us. There's just not going to be any video this time around, which is fine. That's just going to have to be the way it is for a while. So just, the good news is we can kind of do the podcast everywhere now without having to worry about setting up lights and cameras and stuff. So
we don't even have clothes on right now.
Yeah, we're completely naked right now.
My balls are stuck to the chair.
Oh, yeah. Talk about kinks and fetishes.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we don't have a dom with us today. A dominatrix would have been nice, but we'll do another episode with a dom just to get more perspective on that.
To be fair, this is going to probably be the start of a series.
Yeah. Because we might have other episodes where we talk about different things, but like on this one, we're going to talk about stuff like that.
Kind of just an introduction to what gets our rocks off.
Yeah, essentially. Because it's not something that a lot of people talk about very often, So, I know for me,
Should we maybe define kink and fetish first before we really get into it?
Yeah, so I can actually pull it up on the dictionary just so everybody has a good understanding of what we're talking about. So fetish is really just an obsession with a thing. It's a form of sexual desire with the gratification that is linked to an abnormal degree in a particular object, item of clothing, part of the body. So usually it's like a thing.
Okay.
Is what a fetish is. So a kink is it's a quirk of character, behavior, a person's unusual sexual preference.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I guess we can just we can get right into it now.
Yeah. Because you're saying that you have a kink for, like, breeding, right?
Yeah.
No. I have a breeding kink, basically. Yeah. Like, you want to, like, I don't know.
Get women's pregnant.
Yeah. Do you like to have sex with women while they're pregnant?
Well, I've never done that, but I think when the day comes, I think I'll try it out with my wife.
Okay. That could be cool.
As long as the kid's right. Apparently, you can actually have sex while you're pregnant as long as the kid is sitting at the right angle.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I was intrigued when I heard that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because it could actually compromise a pregnancy, is what I've also heard.
Well, I wanted to ask, where's Satan at these days?
Like I said, Satan's actually very busy right now. Wow. He's got a lot on his plate. All right, he's got that bar. Yeah. He's running. He's got the satanic aerobics.
I gotcha.
He's also running for some kind of political party somewhere. We're not really sure if it's just advice or if he's taking human form now.
Oh, gotcha.
And he might be part of the Hell's Angels. We're not really sure. I'm just kidding. He's not part of the Hell's Angels, but he's a very busy deity.
Yeah.
He does wish us the best.
No, that's cool.
I talked to him a few times. He says that he's still looking out for us.
Cool.
He'll try to be on whenever it's easy for him. He's just very busy.
Well, it'll be even easier now since we're going to audio only. So,
yeah.
So he can do his thing.
Yeah. I mean, the dark forces are really not that dark. They're quite helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, they say we live in dark times, but they ain't that dark.
It's easy for Satan to bring the light when he lives in a land of fire.
Yeah. Yep. You can light a cigarette anywhere.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It must be nice, though, having people as his ashtray.
I bet.
Do you ever think he burned someone's anus out?
Probably.
Okay. So back to kinks.
Yeah, it's a good segue back into kinks.
Because I know that's a thing.
Because Satan approves of kinks and fetishes.
Oh yeah, I mean when we get him back, he's definitely going to tell us some of his stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he's got a lot of kinks and fetishes. I mean, he's been around for
He's been around for a while. He's
billions
done.
of years. So
He really, I mean, he's gotten to see kinks unfold.
yeah. Yeah, so kinks and fetishes are interesting. I developed my first fetish when I was a kid. I was about 5 years old, and it started with a foot fetish, and it kind of grew from there. And I just had like an obsession with women's feet, and I don't know, like I've never had a problem with it. Like women most of the time really like it because I guess because they find me attractive. I would think that if I wasn't an attractive guy, I probably wouldn't.
You wouldn't be able to get away with it, sort of thing.
No, probably not. With me, because they think I'm attractive, they're like, "Oh, it's cute. It's adorable. I like it."
You know, that's kind of the same rule as like if if you filmed 50 Shades of Grey with like a sort of out of shape like guy from a trailer park, it would be considered like sexual assault, but because it's a corporate businessman who's handsome, it's completely fine.
Yeah, and people are totally cool with it. It's because attractive people get away with shit,
Yeah.
But that's very true. Like every girl I've ever dated, when they find out I have a foot fetish, they laugh about it at first, and then they stick their feet in my face, and then like
It becomes a thing.
becomes a thing. So I've never had that problem, but I've met guys who are not attractive and have a foot fetish, and they're like, "Ooh, what a creep,"
Well, to be fair, I mean, do you really want to have sex with ugly people?
No,
I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I mean, it's like if you're just not attractive looking, you're not. It doesn't matter what your kink is. You're just not really gonna have good sexual experiences.
yeah, I don't know, like I got to be attracted to somebody in order to do something with them, and it's got to
Yeah.
be. I don't care if it's like personality or if it's their looks, there's got to be something there, because if there's not, then I can't do it.
I mean, you can. What I've noticed too is that if you're like with somebody and they don't have a good personality, that completely throws off the looks.
Absolutely, happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit.
But yeah, I mean, as what's one of your things that besides the foot fetish that really kind of gets you turned on?
I like being in the submissive space with women. Like in my work life and my professional life and with my friends, I'm a very dominant person
Yeah,
for the most part. But I think with my partner, I like to do the opposite because I don't know, it's kind of a release, I guess you could say, because I'm so aggressive and dominant in my like regular life that when I'm with my person and I'm just with that person,
yeah,
I can be that and it's nice.
yeah. I find that when it comes to that kind of aspect, could be a switch on it.
Yeah.
But that's because in my personal life, I'm just a very carefree person.
Yeah.
Nothing really sort of bothers me, but I don't know how to really put it. It's just like, and even then, it's like it depends on the person too.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, I have like a high pain tolerance, so I'm a masochist. So I like when women beat me. I like it when they beat me with like different types of objects, like paddles, floggers, whips, just whatever they have, and feels good to me, and I can take the pain pretty well.
You see, one of the things I really like, it just kind of depends if I'm in the mood for it. Is like if while I'm fucking if like you actually like twist my nipples. Yeah, it makes me come really hard.
For me, if I'm masturbating and a girl touches my foot, I come pretty quick too, because there's a lot of nerve endings in your feet.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. I can't feel anything in my feet anymore.
So that sucks, dude, because there's a lot of nerve endings there.
You see, they actually like when they were like when they were prodding my feet because they had to remove a whole entire like toenail one time. They injected my toe so many times because I couldn't actually feel the injections.
Wow.
So they were afraid that I was gonna like feel it like during.
So what did it cause? Nerve damage or something?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because that's from the military though. And I think actually, I find that when I was in the military is when I discovered a lot of my sort of like a lot of my kinks and fetishes. to be fair. Like, I just kind of had preferences of what I liked out of people before that, but other than kinks and fetishes, I didn't really have anything that I could put my finger on
Yeah.
or in.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I had my first experience when I was a kid. I was like 17, 16 years old. 17.
Yeah.
I was 17. I was 17 years old, and my sister's friend, she played soccer with my sister, and what was interesting is the school that I went to. Everybody in the school found out I had a foot fetish, so I kind of went around the whole school, and never heard the end of that, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I was a pretty popular guy in high school, so like everybody found out I had a foot fetish, so everybody made a big deal about it, and it was pretty funny. My friends told everybody, and some of the popular girls wanted to get me with it. So we were sitting at lunch one day. Everybody had like smirks on their faces. I'm like, what's going on? I'm sitting there trying to eat my food, and a bunch of girls come and sit next to me. They start putting their feet on me, and I'm like, oh no, they figured it out. Which was kind of my fault because I was masturbating to some porn at my buddy's house, and I left it open, and they knew right away it was me because I've always been kind of a weird guy. But after that, a couple days later, it was like a Friday, and I was riding with my dad to go pick up my sister and her friend, and I was sitting in the back seat, and Elizabeth was her name, gets in the back seat. Brittany is like out there talking to my dad, and just out of nowhere, she just kind of leans in and goes, "Hey, I know about your foot fetish." I was like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, I heard about your foot fetish, and it turns me on." She's like, "I want to come into your room next tonight, and let's do something about it." And I was like, "Okay." And she came in my room, and she treated me like I was a fucking like animal, like I was like basically like dirt, and I just loved it, dude. Like, I don't know. She's like she's really fucking pretty. I'm actually pulling up a photo of her. That's Elizabeth right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's pretty fucking sexy, dude. And like, so just imagine this girl right here just comes in my room, and she's just like, oh, dude, she's got like the nicest titties, dude. And like, gotta, okay.
Well, back.
Yeah. So
Back to reality.
yeah, back to that was a long time ago, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, that was like what, like
Too many years ago.
God, that was like, yeah, that was like 15 years ago now.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh man, I've just had a lot of experiences. Let's just put it that way when it comes to kink. You know?
I kind of like. I don't know. It's just like. I just wish I had more confidence about being more open about like what my preferences were.
It was
over there, like when I was younger, but at the same time, you know, what I mean, it's like I just kind of own up to it. It's like what was it when I was working at the liquor store? It's one of the guys I was working with. He's like, I bet you love a finger up your ass when you get blowjobs. I was like, yeah, I do.
yeah.
And they just kind of like had this face of like, oh, like I bet you like, I bet you like it when you got two fingers up your ass. It's like, yeah, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's because we have a prostate, bro.
It's like, have you ever tried sex? It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, it's funny. I always feel like the people that do stuff like that are always the people that actually secretly want
oh yeah,
a
when
girl to like peg them, because pegging is like, so one of the most common fetishes in like just in the kink community in general. The number one common fetish besides foot fetish is pegging, and the other one is cross dressing.
really,
Yeah, so those are really popular.
I thought cross dressing would be like down the line.
No, a lot of men secretly want to cross dress, and a lot of men secretly want women to peg them. It's very popular. I've never like, I know guys that have literally been wanting women to peg them for a long time, and it just never happens because, let's be real, some of them are just not attractive. But I've been
That
pegged.
makes sense.
I've had women peg me so many times, and like I've done it so many times that like when men are like when I tell men that I've done this, I'm just like, eh, because I've just done it so many. Like it's just normal to me at this point.
Oh yeah, no, it's like shoot, the whole thing with the whole thing with the fingers, it just feels fucking good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're it. Like what I like to do sometimes is I like to do sort of like because I can't do anything with my like I can't like with my neck problems and everything. I can no longer do the face sitting stuff because I love that. That's what I love because you just get suffocated under there. Big
Yeah.
ass worship guy.
Yeah, those are really good. I mean, those are really powerful fetishes that a lot of people like too.
I can't do it anymore though because of my neck.
No, that sucks.
So it's like because I can't like put any pressure on my neck anymore. So that's like completely out the window. But I love like when you sit on my face sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to get like a what they call a queening stool. That's where
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
yeah, so it's like where a woman can do it without it like putting all the pressure on you.
I don't know. It's just I feel I guess I'd have to get one, but I miss the like the suffocation under that ass,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's nice.
and then the leather and lace on top of that. That also looks good.
Yeah,
That kind of like completes the circle.
it really does. I love it.
Yeah, it's like well, I'm trying to think of another one that kind of gets me going though too.
Another really popular fetish is cuckolding. It's
That one's a little odd to me.
well, it's fine when it's like
Consensual.
consensual, but like the stuff that we've talked about in the past about it being not consensual, I don't really agree with that because I think that's wrong.
Seems like a lot, but but that kind of goes into a lot of what we were talking about before too, when it comes to like open relationships. That
Yeah.
most people like about like I'd like to say about 95% of people who have an open relationship, it's not necessarily as open as people think it is.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of it to where it's like one partner is then sort of shifted out of the whole situation or shunned for liking the same things.
Yeah.
It's like I have a buddy who that recently happened to.
Mm-hmm.
He got out of that relationship, but it was sad to see how years of a relationship ended because of that,
Yeah.
and it's not right.
No, I believe it. It's just one of those things. It's a fetish that isn't for everybody, but it's pretty popular.
I feel like it's a fetish that breaks relationships.
Yeah, it can as long as if things aren't done right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to be on board with it. If people aren't on board, then you're not. I don't know. If I feel like you're not doing it right.
Yeah, and honestly, it feels like there's certain. I guess this is sort of my cookie cutter way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there's certain fetishes that where it's like if you're like a monogamous couple, it could work out.
Yeah.
Like you can go with some fetishes, but when you start adding other people is where trouble starts coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that could really end a relationship. But if you're not really in like if you're not in like one of those like long-term relationships, I feel like you could get away with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But in terms of an actual sort of like if you're married and stuff, it's not going to work out.
No, probably
long
not.
term.
Probably not. No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, it just really depends, I guess.
I mean, usually it's kind of like when something, and usually at that time there might need to be like some form of like couples therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you might actually be substituting forms of kink and sex to avoid having a conversation about stuff.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I've engaged in stuff like that, and there's actually the reverse for women.
Yeah,
and
the cuck queening.
Yeah, which is it's kind of popular too.
That's yeah. Either way, it's a very interesting situation.
Yeah.
I guess it's more of like something primal, where someone likes to have a form of control over their partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. There are some really bizarre fetishes though that people
Really?
like.
Like scat.
I mean, scat is one of them. trying to think of some other ones that are, like they call it the little space. It's where people pretend to be adult babies.
Yeah, that one's like pedophilia with extra steps.
Yeah. I mean, I don't judge them. I mean,
I'm
they're
not, I'm
they're
not
they're
judging,
they're,
but
they're, they're adults. They can kind of do whatever they want. But
it's kind of weird.
it's not something I would do.
I think that like I said, there's certain things you probably just should not engage in, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I feel you.
So like I said, I'm not
lot-
much of a kink shamer.
But a lot of people feel that way about that kink, though. I've met a
Yeah.
lot of people that just see it and they're like, like, But I've also done other stuff. I've done like knife play, where a girl takes
Ooh.
like a knife and like cuts my back up and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's,
wild. It's pretty
that-
wild. Doesn't really leave any long-lasting scars because they don't like go super deep with the knife.
It's a very interesting thing, though.
Absolutely.
Then again, I've heard the same thing with guns. Like people like to have like the sort of danger of a gun pointed at their head.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular fetish too.
Do you think that fetishes have a lot to do with mental trauma?
Yes. And it's a good way to get some of your. It's actually, I think most of the time it's a good outlet for your trauma.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard situations where that's actually been beneficial.
Absolutely, it can definitely help. It can definitely help out.
Yeah.
So makes me laugh pretty hard.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Absolutely.
At least it is a consenting thing between adults. There's no problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, it's like I've never really dived into too much of it until I believe it or not, it's like when I got into the military.
Yeah,
It's where I started like kind of discovering myself a little more.
absolutely. Yeah, and then there's a whole, another really interesting fetish is this thing called financial domination.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that.
And men mostly engage in that, and they really like it. A lot of men really like that fetish. They also like to combine that with humiliation and
Yeah.
degradation, and they also like to combine like blackmail with that too. And I think it kind of
Interesting.
gives them like a little bit of a rush. It's very common with men over the age of 40, because
I could definitely see it
They're
with a bunch of CEOs.
they're married. They don't want their wife, their kids, their family, their work life to figure out about this. So they'll get these women to like blackmail them into like doing these things for them, and it's pretty popular.
Makes sense.
And it's most of the time it's these mega rich guys, that are really into it.
To be fair, though, I don't think you can get away with that kind of stuff unless you're like really rich. Because at that point, it's like if you're like doing a couple $1,000s here and there, that's barely a dent in your annual income.
Yeah, they could probably do tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh,
and
yeah.
not even feel it ever. It's
like taking a piece of wax, like getting waxed, that quick sort of burn. That's like, ooh, that sucks. I just spent $10,000 because I've been blackmailed. But
to them, it's like nothing. It's like Bill Gates could engage in that, and he would never even know.
what if that is what Bill Gates does?
Oh, that'd be pretty crazy. Bill Gates, if you're listening to the podcast, do you engage in blackmail fetish?
Shoot. I mean, he and his wife were engaged. She knew that he was fucking somebody else the whole time.
Yep. Yep, and they didn't make a big deal about it either.
It's kind of like one of those things where they're like, well, you're rich and successful, so I guess you can go and fuck so and so.
Go fuck so and so.
So technically, would that be like the cuck queen fetish?
I guess so.
Oh, okay. Bill Gates is playing making some baller moves out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I just got to imagine that a lot of these old white rich guys just engage in some really wacky ass fetishes, man.
Yeah.
Like I bet Warren Buffett's over there like licking some hot girl's feet while he's like giving her money at the same time.
I'd like to think that Jeff Bezos likes getting pegged.
He looks like that kind of guy, doesn't he?
Like, but to add insult to injury, because he's bald, like, because no one could pull on his hair, she puts like a plunger on the back of his head and like pulls on it.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I get all those things for free, man.
Well, yeah,
That's funny. I always tell people all the time, like, I know so many guys that talk about how they have to pay to get women to do these things to them, and I'm like, I get it for free all the
yeah.
time.
I mean, it's kind of like I made the joke one time where I was like, technically, when you're married, you know, you can engage in any kind of weird shit you want as long as it's with that other person. It's like, and you kind of get like all the things you ever wanted. Like, eventually, you're gonna get a MILF, you're gonna get a BBW, you're gonna get a fit chick, and shit. If you and your wife love steroids, you can get into bodybuilding shit.
Yep.
That's another. Actually, that's one of those things that I've noticed is like I really like female bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Female bodybuilders are really pretty.
yeah, they are.
My friend Chelsea's really pretty. She's hot. Too bad she's like not a man. She'd be like the perfect pro dominatrix. I know so many guys that would just pay her ass loads of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you show me a girl with like quads like Quadzilla and fucking 22-inch arms, I might just be willing to lick some feet.
There you go, bro.
Wait, you want me to eat your ass after you worked out? Bet.
As long as it's the right person.
Yeah. What do you mean you didn't wipe? Oh no.
Oh no.
It's kind of like all I can think of is like the Klaus from American Dad. Oh no, don't use my bowl.
Yeah, he's just desperate for anything.
Yeah, lets Roger shit and piss in his bowl.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen that show in a while, honestly.
Yeah. So in terms of like preferences on people and everything, like what like do you think that adds a little bit more to the whole ambiance of your sex life?
What do you mean?
Kind of like you know, it's like if you like you wouldn't have any of these fetishes if it didn't come down to the certain people that you'd be attracted to.
Boy, that's a good question. If I was very vanilla, which vanilla is the technical term for somebody who doesn't really have kinks and likes basic like missionary sex.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I don't know. I probably would have been married with kids like a long time ago, and I'd probably be working I probably would have ended up being like what I was gonna originally be. Wouldn't be as creative, I don't think. Honestly, I probably would have ended up being in the STEM field, honestly, and I probably would have gotten married and had kids by now, honestly.
You know, who knows? You might have like discovered your shit like when you're like 50.
Yeah,
With a lot of money.
yeah, it's very true.
Because that's what you said, that a lot of the people that you run into who they kind of discover that stuff like later on in their life when they live a vanilla lifestyle.
That's when I went up to that Paradise Valley place I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So when I went up there, there's a bunch of mostly older people up there, like over the age of 40 and above, and you know, they'll be sitting there talking to me, and they'll say stuff like, "Oh, well, I just discovered I like this, this, and this," and I was like, I knew I liked that stuff when I was in high school. They're like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah," and they were like, I was like, "What kind of person were you in high school?" And they're like, "Oh, I was pretty boring," and then like they tell me how that they had did like the normal thing where they got married, had some kids, and had a boring ass career. And they were like, "That's so cool that you like that stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of." And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "I've done a lot of sex work, and I've done a lot of crazy ass shit that most people wouldn't want to do." And they were like, "Oh, that's so cool." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you think it's cool because you've never done it before, but it's really not that cool. Like, there's a lot of baggage with that shit, you know?"
So you ever think that when it comes down to it though, like I started thinking about the reason why I figured out why I like some of the kinks, to go back into our thoughts on mental trauma, is just kind of the mental instability that occurs with just being in the military, just like the insanity of your life. It's like I can't imagine. I can only imagine what it is for combat vets, but it's just like I don't know. It's like I looked at it where it was like, you know, I need to go home and do something fucking weird just to kind of balance out the dumbass day I had.
That's a good way to look at it. I don't know. For me, I think that the reason why I'm into kink so much is because I might have been exposed to some stuff when I was a kid, and for the life of me, I can't really remember a whole lot. But like, I don't know, maybe I had some trauma when I was a kid. You know,
You probably do have some level of trauma.
I just don't remember. You know, like if someone's like, "Well, do you remember what you did? Do you remember the trauma?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Can you not think about it?" And I was like, "I can think about it, but I don't know what the fuck it is." So if you're asking me if I can tell you what the trauma was, I can't really give you an answer to that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the problem, you know?
Yeah, that is a really good point.
Yeah. Like, there's no way I could, like, look inside of myself and figure out where that trauma is. Like, it would be impossible.
Sometimes I kind of want to know is like, what do some of our kinks say about us?
I guess it really depends. I mean, kinks don't just develop out of nowhere. There's usually some kind of thing that develops it. For me, I may have been a 3-year-old kid and saw some pretty feet, and I may have been that may have been the moment,
Well, you see, that's like because that's what I've been thinking is like with the whole with the whole breeding fetish thing, the breeding kink. There's got to be some. I look at that as like something that's just like primal, like caveman style, where it's like it's like you just want to get as many people as you can possible, like an animal pregnant, and then it's like even the thought of like if you get when you get somebody pregnant, you just kind of enjoy the look of their body as as they like go through the pregnancy. Because I've also heard that there is like there's also like a fetish of enjoying like the sort of like your partner
Yeah.
when they go through like the stages of pregnancy.
Could be. And I wonder where yours developed from. Maybe you saw something when you were a teenager, maybe as a kid, or maybe as a small child. You never know.
I think I'm just kind of fucked up.
Could be.
Maybe, like I said, maybe some of that kind of developed as a mechanism while I was in.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I think the reason why I like dominant women is because maybe some of the movies I watched when I was a kid, I saw like these women like treating these men like shit, and I was just like, exposed to that. And so maybe that's why I like dominant women when they dominate me and they're fucking aggressive with me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I see it as like a challenge because they're so feisty.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I really like BBWs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
BBWs, huh?
Yeah, because like think about it, right? It's like I can't be in any way submissive to somebody who's like smaller than me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I look at it like I like the ass worship portion of things. So
Yeah.
it's like the bigger the ass and the heavier it sits on your face, like the better you feel.
Yeah.
Like the more it kind of plays into that. And
Makes
so
sense.
that's why I also like the female bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So that might actually explain a few things on that end.
Could be. Could be. I could see that. I never really thought about it like that.
Kind of had some kind of been thinking about it the whole week since we decided that this is sort of direction we were going with this week's episode.
Huh?
I started like doing some deep diving in my thoughts.
Yeah, I've just explored so many different types of fetishes over the years. I mean, most of my long-term girlfriends have been women who were really kink oriented.
Yeah.
Never really. I've had vanilla relationships, but they never really last very long.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like something's missing with them.
So something I've also noticed when it comes to wanting to be touched generally
Yeah.
is like if we're going to engage in something like that, it has to be in the bedroom, or we have to kind of establish that like this is where this like we're going to fuck. This is where this is going. But other than that, I just like if we're not doing that, I have a hard time with people touching me.
What if you were
Anymore.
like, so at the Valley, there's a place called L3. It's like a place where you can like they have stripper poles and stuff, and then they have like an area that's like has beds everywhere where people can have sex. Could you have sex in front of people? Like, could you have sex with your wife in front of other people, and just maybe not people touching you, but people just watching?
Huh. You know what? I've never thought about that.
That's also a fetish. It's called voyeurism.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Never thought about that. I kind of always like the idea of like like fucking in a park or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like on a nature trail. Just like just strip down and start fucking.
like just straight up.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, it's like I kind of think about it as like I don't know why, but I've always wanted to like go down on someone after a nice long gym session.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I don't know why, but I think that has something to do with a lot of other things.
But that's something you thought about.
Yeah, it's like it's like you like wouldn't you want to go down on the whole female Olympic weightlifting team
Maybe.
or the hockey team?
Possibly.
Soccer team's already taken by somebody else.
That's funny. Yeah, I could totally see that. You know, having multiple partners, you know, it's like that's a fetish too, you know. I guess like a kink.
The one thing I've noticed is like when it comes to oral,
Yeah.
I do prefer to like sort of like take even the submissive sort of position in it,
Uh
where it's like I don't where I like to just kind of like be in there.
yeah.
I don't know how to say it. It's like I love blowjobs, but what I really like doing is I really love eating pussy and ass.
Well, it's cool. I'm glad you know, that's actually a good thing when a guy likes to do that stuff. Women usually love
Yeah.
men that like to do stuff like that.
But I think that also I also think that has to do with the face sitting fetish too.
Could be.
So
Probably.
that's probably where that stems. That's where that stems from because I like being in that position.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I like those. I like those things. I just don't. I don't know. Like because I've engaged in a lot of that stuff so much. It's like they don't. I guess they don't really get me as excited as they once did.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, to be fair, you also did experience a lot of this stuff with multiple partners. I've experienced all this stuff with like one other person.
Yeah.
So it kind of puts everything into a different perspective.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
very true.
But and that's also something though that I've thought about is like how would I be able to do this with like another person?
I think you just do it.
I mean, you would, but I feel like you'd have to build up like this is just my mental gymnastics that I'd have to build up a form of comfortability with that person.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like as
Pretty normal.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like I couldn't one night stand just tell someone yes, like sit on my face and jam a finger up my ass and give me a hand job. They'd probably look at me like, all right, I'm gonna give you some cab fare. You need to get the fuck out.
Give you some cab fare because you need to get the fuck out of here.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Played my cards wrong.
Oh, I kind of didn't think this through very well.
Damn it. What did I do with my life?
Didn't think it through.
No.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I do like the way the microphone, like this little pole, keeps jabbing right in my chest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it feels good. It's like scratching an itch.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I gotta get that itch scratched.
Yeah, my back hurts though.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah. Sitting hurts.
Yup.
Living hurts.
You know,
But fucking doesn't hurt. No, like not even joking. Like this whole week, everything's been like pretty painful, but I've been pretty much like fucking as much as possible.
that's good.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I feel for you.
Not gonna lie, I kind of realized that my whole like workout routine being mostly calisthenics now kind of plays into my more primal senses of an animal, so it makes me hornier.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really big fetish, being primal. Well, it's more of a kink, I guess. It's
I like role playing.
yeah, like you know, a certain special someone I know
Yeah.
really likes to be a puppy.
All right. All right.
Very big into puppy play. She really likes it.
That is interesting.
I'm not really into it. I think it's all right. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not really my thing.
I feel like it's not complete without the mask.
Yes, a lot of people have to wear a mask.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if like I've wondered how it would be to engage in that, but I think like you'd have to wear the mask for it to be complete.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right.
But shoot, I'm trying to think of like leather and lace, role playing.
Well, leather is really popular in the gay community,
Yeah, well,
That's
I
a-
mean,
and
that
that's
kind of
a-
makes
that's-
more sense for us.
and that's a big thing. Is the leather community is like huge, and it's all mainly gay, which is cool.
Yeah, I like I like pretending I'm a biker and just like railing out my wife.
Okay.
I mean, I used to have a police officer costume. I would do that with it. I've actually done that. I've actually had sex in my uniform.
Oh wow.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had some spare uniforms in my house, so it was like my wife would wear them, and I'd pull her the pants down and everything, just rail her out.
That's funny.
And then what was it? One of the ones though that I wanted to get is like a Roman legionnaire costume of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And have her almost like in what basically would look like a Princess Leia outfit, and do it like that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
thought about getting some assless chaps though. I actually have a banana hammock. Really rides up the ass the wrong way though, so I think I need to get more of like the jock strap looking one where the straps go on the outside, so the ass is completely exposed too.
Mm-hmm.
But it cups the balls nice.
Oh, nice. Really tickles the asshole.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even tickle. It really feels like like what's happening is you're rubbing dental floss in between your fingers until it gets uncomfortable.
Ugh, God. Nick, you really didn't sell that to me.
No, no.
You did not sell that to me at all.
That's why I'm saying you got to get the assless chap kind of a banana hammock where it's
Yeah.
like a jock strap, or else it's just not working out for you, man.
Yeah, I got these underwear that are kind of like Speedos. They say Superman on them. They're pretty funny.
Ooh. So apparently they do actually sell an underwear that actually cups your balls into like a separate compartment with your cock.
Uh-huh.
I want to get some of those.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Apparently that's not like sexual in any nature, but they do sell them at a lot of sex stores. It's used for male models to like really let the bulge sell.
Interesting. Really let the bulge sell.
Yeah.
It's what the plants crave.
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
After a good fucking, I do have to like get some electrolytes in me. That's why I'm a big Gatorade junkie or Powerade junkie. Mostly Powerade.
If you want to cut out the sugar, man, go for the body armor. It's better.
Oh yeah, the body armor is good. That gets you ready for the next session. You whip out the good old ramrod cock rings, and you're good to go.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty
like
much.
I
It's
think
also
it was-
got vitamins and minerals in it too.
yeah, that coconut water really makes you horny.
Oh yeah. Aphrodisiac.
Yeah,
Got a little fuck puppet back there behind you.
yeah, I know. And when people start paying us, they can see the fuck puppet again.
Yep. Hopefully they will.
Next, the next time we just have to we have to get the gimp out.
Oh yeah. We'll have to find the gimp.
Yeah. This show's gonna get really weird once we actually start like showing people what we do.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I mean, once they start paying us and shit, we can actually afford to feed the gimp.
Yep. Well, he stays in his cage most of the time. He's not allowed out because he's done a lot of bad stuff.
We got to get him a Mrs. Gimp
Yeah.
for once a month.
Yep. And we can kind of explain to the viewers what a gimp is. So a gimp is somebody who is completely covered in latex and all you can see is their mouth.
Let's just say that mouth does a lot of work.
Yeah, does a lot of work. Gimps basically are just genderless, sexless, like toys that are just used for various types of things. You literally can't tell if it's a male or a female when they're in those things, unless they're accentuating the boobs or something. you know?
Yeah.
I've been in one of those outfits before. It gets really hot like after the first like hour.
It does.
Yeah,
It really seals in the flavors.
yeah, seals in the fucking flavors.
You ever think that like Batman has to take like a really good fucking long shower, a bath, and then a shower again? Because he's basically running around Gotham City fighting crime in a gimp suit.
Well, I've always wondered how the hell does he take a shit? Like what? Because he's out working.
I feel like he has adult diapers
Do you think he has adult diapers? Do you think he's got
or a butt plug.
yeah? How do you think he pees?
Dude, I'm telling you, we're thinking a little too much into this, other than the fact that Batman is literally in a rubber suit all day, fighting, like all night, fighting crime.
Well, yeah, but he's got to take a piss or shit sometime at night.
I feel like I feel like the whole bottoms come off, or it comes off like a romper.
Mm.
Or it's like you ever watch From Dusk Till Dawn with the dick gun?
Yeah.
He's got like a flap that gets the ass loose every now and again, or the cock area loose, so they can pee or poo.
Yeah, I think in the Christian Bale movies, I think they that armor. It was more of an armor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more like a
Like a Teflon armor type thing.
yeah.
And when he'd get shot, it wouldn't really hurt him. Because
But I mean, it would hurt him.
well, he'd feel the force, right?
Yeah, because I mean, you'd think though, it's like that would suck. I mean, getting shot will suck, regardless if you're wearing armor or not. Some bones are gonna break.
Yeah, I've never. I gotta be honest. I've never. I mean, have you ever been shot before?
No,
No.
I didn't go to combat.
Do you know anybody that's ever been shot?
Yeah,
What do they say it feels like?
I never ask.
Mm.
It's not you know, like it's one of those things, you know, that you never. I have friends who've also gotten stabbed.
Mm.
They people who have been stabbed will tell you about what being stabbed is like, and I'm going to tell you, I would rather not ever get stabbed.
What they say it feels like?
It's fucking awful. Like just your insides are getting torn apart.
And you can feel it, right?
Yeah, it's slow. Like what I imagine with people who've gotten shot, it's a completely different story. But getting stabbed is just like anybody who's been stabbed will tell you it's not. It's not the 10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Oh, I wouldn't imagine. And I guess where did they get stabbed?
The abdomen.
Abdomen.
Yeah, I've seen a guy, like a person I knew, like back when I was in high school. I met this one dude who was actually in the army. Mm-hmm. He was friends with another guy I knew. It's like his older brother or something. He showed me like his stomach where he got slashed.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Got slashed?
Yep. Big note.
Fuck that. God. Man, I would hate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've actually so another one is I've had friends who are blown up.
Wow. Blown up, huh?
So like one of my buddies had a whole like where he was standing when the vehicle he was in was like blown up.
Yeah.
Where he was standing shot up his whole leg and like tore it up, so he showed me that.
Oh wow.
That was something interesting. Yeah, they're more few and far between, but that's not something you want to be either.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine. Doesn't sound fun to me at all.
It was like my drill instructor had both of his fingers shot off.
Really?
Like and then he actually had them like surgically reattached.
Fun times. God.
Dude, like it's a whole nother ball game when you listen to your friend, like, because like all of my friends when I was first going to college, for example, they are all combat vets. Now that I'm in college and everything and hanging out with all the vets, they're all peacetime vets.
Interesting.
It's just the way that things work. Shit happens in stages.
Yeah, I bet those guys have a lot of crazy kinks too.
Actually, yeah. One of my best friends I learned some new stuff about.
No.
We're not talking about that, but yeah, I learned some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome bastard.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, dude, like some guys are just into some weird shit. I did have a friend when I was in. who got gangbanged out by a bunch of grunts.
Wow.
He said that one of the guys, the guy who led the gangbang, was like a Brock Lesnar looking motherfucker.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fun time had by all.
Yeah. But funny part is that we knew a guy. There was a guy that we knew who looked like he ate 2 Brock Lesnars,
Oh, wow.
but that wasn't him. But he actually did look like he ate 2 Brock Lesnars. Had one of my friends get like crushed, like their head crushed in between his thighs,
Oh, wow.
and that's when they realized they liked that.
Okay. Interesting.
It was a bit of the smell and a bit of the head crushing.
Yeah,
Being that close to a crotch.
yeah. I mean, I've had women crush my head before. It's fun.
Yeah, like I said, I can't get into that anymore, or like try that because of my neck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I said, it like kind of it really sucks because I do enjoy the whole face sitting thing the most. That's like I'm talking like the flagpole is at full attention.
Okay.
My homie is like standing up straight and then a little bit too straight.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm a dirty bastard.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the hour,
So I mean, like, I guess let's see what things we would like to try.
I don't know. I've kind of tried everything I like, so I kind of know what I like. So I kind of stick to those things myself.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
So I mean, that's just from years of doing the things that I want to do.
I guess I'll ponder the idea of like what it would be like to have sex in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, you could think about that.
All right now though, the image that's playing in my head is American Psycho's Christian Bale like flexing in the mirror as he's fucking the hooker.
Yeah.
Just like pulling one of those.
Yeah, he looked really good in that movie.
Shoot, was that like right around the time he started doing Batman? He was getting ready to do Batman.
Batman Begins came out in 2005. American Psycho came out in what? 1998?
All I know is that Christian Bale's always looked good, though.
Yes, that's very true.
Oh, who else looks sexy?
Who's that?
Eric Bana.
Yeah, he does look pretty good too. 2000.
2000, okay. So he was close.
It was 5 years before he did Batman. I mean, he looked good in that movie. He was in good shape. It's just, I mean.
I think that's when kinks go a little too far, though.
Yeah, well, the whole thing behind that movie is people, you're trying to figure out if what he's doing is actually real.
Oh, yeah.
Or if it's a fantasy. Because, and you can't really tell. Like, you don't know if they're covering it up because they have his back, and that's just how the top 10% treats each other, or what.
So like back to that and everything, because I mean, he blew up a cop car with a pistol.
Yeah,
which has you kind of like, which I love the look on his face of like, a what?
Yeah, and then when he goes to the building where he works, and he gets on the phone, and he's like, "Look, I really don't like that I keep doing this to people, and I want to stop, but I can't stop. I need help." And then that guy's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, like when he goes to the apartment that that he told his lawyer about, and then his lawyer's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah. And if he did do it, he got away with it, and he goes to the bar, and everybody acts like nothing happened.
And I mean, shit,
because Jared Leto's character gets just fucking
gone.
He
gets goned.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's one of those movies you don't know if it's. You just don't know if it's reality or fantasy. And we're not even going to talk about American Psycho 2. That movie sucks, and it's terrible, and it can go fuck right off.
I liked it.
The sequel?
Oh, there's a sequel?
American Psycho 2?
No, we're just not going to talk about that. That's like Jarhead. Never watched any of the Jarheads after the first one.
There's more?
Yes, and that was because a bunch of assholes said to themselves, like, oh wow, Jarhead didn't have any action, and it's like that wasn't the point. It was kind of like supposed to be from what a lot of people say.
I thought it was supposed to be a slice of life movie
Yeah, I think,
about being in the military, not necessarily combat.
yeah, that's kind of like how Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket was.
Yeah, most of the movie was them going through the training.
Actually, that's like half the movie, and then the other half is like showing you Vietnam, but without like showing you the action of Vietnam.
Well, that's what I mean. Like most
Oh,
of
okay.
it's like the training, and then showing Vietnam, and then they finally see action towards like the middle to end.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like, I wonder what kind of kinks though, like you were saying though, like guys like cops, firefighters. I wonder what they're into.
Probably some really crazy shit.
Yeah.
For sure. All right.
Well,
It's the top of the hour. So, as you guys know, we're not doing video now for a while. We don't really have the time, but we're still going to have these audio podcasts. They're going to drop every Friday. And we're going to try to we're going to release these on YouTube, just not with video. And we're going to try to do the clips as much as we can.
yeah, the audio clips will be there, so you could feel a little nice and fuzzy on the inside.
Yep.
More
And,
content will come out.
and as usual, check out the website. Please check out our merch and check out our Patreon account. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Do all the things that you know to do to get the algorithm going.
And do me this last and final favor, Atlanta. Stay sexy.
Peace. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Dumb, Cool, and Weird podcast with Wes and Nick. If you want to check out more of our stuff, go to www.dumbcoolweird.com. You'll find our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Patreon link if you want to support us. Also, be sure to check out our merch store. And if you're interested in being on our podcast, you can find a link on our website so you can reach out to us and tell us if you want to talk to us about something that's really weird, dumb, or cool. We'd be glad to hear from you. Hope you will stay tuned for the next weird ass episodes we got. Thank you.